Hey, good morning. So today I'm going to show you how I clean out my fish pond filters. You might be brand new wondering what kind of maintenance is involved with this, and so I'll show you my process. Mine may not be the perfect process, but it works for me. Do your own research and see if this is the way you want to do it for yours, but here's how I do it. So here we go. So to begin, I grab a 5-gallon bucket, and I have one bucket that is dedicated to this pond and this pond alone. I never use this one for my other pond over there, and I have a bucket that's dedicated to that one. I just don't want to mix them up and potentially transfer any kind of diseases or parasites, pathogens, anything like that from one system to the other. So I keep a dedicated bucket for each pond. So I'm going to grab some of the water from the pond. I don't use hose water, tap water, anything like that. I use water that comes directly from the pond because I don't want to kill any of the good, healthy bacteria that we have by putting it into a chlorinated water. So I think it's best just to use the water that comes from it to clean the filters for that pond. So let's grab some water. So looking in here, they don't look too dirty to begin with, which is a good sign that my radial flow settlers are doing their job. Before we set this up, after 24 hours, you just see all kinds of muck here on the top of this. And so this is a good sign. But we're in the first few days with this new setup, and I want to change this twice a day at least, just to try and catch up from the past. But here's how I go about that. So we're just going to remove these out one at a time and rinse them out until the water runs clear, and then we'll put them back. So this is what the water looks like before rinsing the filter out. It looks pretty clear. It's a little dirty, but not too bad. The filter doesn't look too terrible right now. There's a little bit of muck on there. You can see just some of the brown and the gunk that's built up inside of there. So let's rinse this out. And so now here you can see how the water looks after rinsing the filter. Pretty mucky and brown and nasty. But this is actually really great water. We want to use this. We don't want to just dump it in the grass. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, now you don't want to waste the water from your fish pond by just throwing it out on the grass or something. That stuff is full of nutrients, and your trees, your vegetables, things like that will love it. And so I pour it directly on. Some people have mineralization tanks that actually up the nutrient power of it. I don't have one of those yet, so I just pour it directly on. Look at this tree. I put this in 2 months ago, this little strawberry tree here. When I put it in, it was only about this tall, only about that wide. It is thriving, super happy. We've got delicious, ripe Brazilian or Jamaican cherries. So I'm going to pour this on here. I'm going to continue to rinse out the other sponges and such like that from the filter, and we'll put them on the rest of the trees. They love it. Okay, now that we've taken some water out of the fish pond, probably about 20 gallons now, 25 gallons I guess, to clean those filters. So we want to replace that water. Plus we lose water every day to evaporation. So we want to replace the water, but we don't want to just go straight out of our tap or garden hose and putting chlorinated water in there. So something that I've been using that I think has been working great for me is this little filter right here that comes right off of my spigot. It's called a Boogie Blue Plus. And this removes the chlorine and chloramine from the hose, the water coming out of the hose, so that it's safe to put into my fish pond directly. This little thing I think costs about $30, $40, and they say it's supposed to get I think 38,000 gallons of filtering through there before it needs to be replaced. So a relatively inexpensive option to get the chlorine and chloramine out of the water so that it's safe to put back into the fish pond. Definitely, I would suggest something like this. Either this model, there's other ones out there, but something like this makes life so much easier. Okay, so let's go refill the fish pond. Make sure you get the water temperature about equal to what's in your pond, or at least a little bit cool. You don't want blazing hot water that's been sitting inside that hose in the sun going in there, because that can harm your fish. Otherwise, they love that fresh water. They come running right up to that hose as soon as it goes in there. All right, thanks for checking out this video. I hope somebody out there found this helpful. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down below. I'll be sure to respond back to you. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.